Well, good morning. This is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred. We're really glad you could join us this morning. We're out here in the garden where our potato patch is. It's going to be a warm, humid day here today in Pennsylvania in the beginning of September. What I thought we would do is we're going to make my Panini grilled potato patties. They're really delicious. We've made them in the past. And so I thought we would just have some fun, and we'll begin out here in the garden and pick some of our red Norland potatoes. I don't know if you've seen the video in the past. It's called Digging for Gold. That's a great video. I would encourage you to watch if you have an opportunity. So we're just going to take a few minutes here and dig up some potatoes, and we're going to wash them, and then we'll see you in the kitchen. So let's see what we have under here, down here in the ground. I have my basket here that I normally put my potatoes in, and then we wash them up. And so, you know, these vines have dried back. They've died back and withered away, so that means it's been time for these to pick these potatoes. And these particular kind are red Norland potatoes. And we love these potatoes in the ground. That's a pretty good size one. But we're going to then take these into the kitchen. That one started to develop its own root again. So far we're doing pretty good here. They've been in the ground for about a month or more, and so they can stay in the ground pretty good up until frost, or even into the cold of the winter, because they're insulated in the ground. I'd say we have plenty of potatoes for these potato patties. I see Bailey's joining us this morning. How are you, Bailey? So let's take a walk right up here. I have a hose. We'll wash these off. It's right here on our stump. I often use this stump in the garden here to, you know, if you've seen the pictures of Mr. Potato Head and Mr. Butternut, this is the stump that we've posted the pictures on. So we're just going to wash these up here a little bit. That way most of the mess is outside. Get some of the dirt off my hands. But I love the look of these fresh potatoes from the garden. So anyhow, we'll see you inside the kitchen in a little while. Well, we're back in the kitchen. Thanks for joining us again. So what I'm going to do is I've already cut up some of the potatoes. I have a few peppers to do. We went out in our garden and got a pepper to add to our potato patty. And so I just need to finish cutting up a few more peppers. And then have a few remaining potatoes to do. Now normally when I cut a potato, I cut it lengthwise, and then I do it again lengthwise. And then I have one down the middle, and then just cross cut. And this way it gives it nice small cubes, especially if we're going to put these on the Panini grill. There's our Panini grill that we're going to use for making these patties. And so I'm just going to slice down the middle again. Because you want the chunks fairly small in this. I would say you don't want them any bigger than a ½ inch. Down the middle, and then we'll cross cut again. It's always good to make sure you have a nice short knife. In fact, if you've had any experiences with making your own potato pancakes or any special way, it's always good if you could share them in the space below. It's always fun to learn about new ideas and things in the kitchen. And so I'm just going to cross cut this again real small. And so I think what we're going to do then is it's ready for the pot. I always have this handy scooper. It's a great scooper to use in the kitchen for scooping up everything. So I'm just going to set all this into the water here. Because what I'm going to do is put this on the stove, and once it comes to boil, probably about anywhere from 12 to 15 minutes it'll take. I'm also going to put the peppers in there too, so it keeps everything all in one pot, easy to clean up. Now another trick that I've learned over the years is when I boil things, whether it's spaghetti noodles or potatoes, I always do it in a deep pot, okay? Because, let me show you, in the past I've used these shallow pots. And what happens if you're not tending the stove as good as you can? The water will boil over, your pot. And so, we all hate when that happens. But like for instance, if you use it in a deep pot, even though it's boiling, it's not going to boil over the edge of the pot. And so sometimes it's a little bit more work to get the big pot out, but I find that it's well worth it because nothing like cleaning up the water from off the hot stove. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this on a stove, we'll bring it to boil, and we'll see you back in a few minutes. Well, the potatoes are done, and I just finished straining them. They're in the strainer now, and what I'm going to do is just pour them into the pot. Now when you do, you want to bring these to a boil. These took about 15 minutes. Once it's brought to a boil, you want to boil them for about 15 minutes. You just really want to make sure they're nice and soft, especially when you go to put them on this grill. And so, this panini sandwich grill I end up getting at a thrift store. I always sometimes keep my eye on it. We have it's called Impact thrift store near us, and sometimes, like in the past, I picked up some of the old-time food processors. They're nice and heavy-duty, and I think this one only cost me like $10, and so it's a good panini sandwich maker. So what I'm going to do is just, as gentle as I can, just spread these out here on the grill. And you want to make sure you get this grill screaming hot. That's a really big key here for making these turn out good. Is get it nice and hot. You can hear it sizzling while it's going on there. And I probably had a good 4 or 5 potatoes, depending on the size. And we love our potatoes. They're so healthy for us. The potato's been maligned over all these years, and so it's nice to realize that potatoes can be our comfort food. It's just the toppings that you put on that make them not healthy. And so I think this is ready to go here. They look pretty well spread out in one layer. You kind of like want it in one layer. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this. And you can see how this one particularly, it tilts like that. So that's kind of what you want. I'm actually going to push some of the potatoes back from the front edge. Although it wouldn't matter if they even spilled out a little bit. So I'm going to just press that down so it kind of conforms to the potatoes. I use my oven mitt for that. And we're going to let them sit here, sandwiched in between, for 10 minutes. You don't want to take a peek at them or anything. You want them to cook in there for 10 minutes so it kind of sears the top and the bottom. That way it doesn't stick to your grill. And so we'll see you back in a little while. Well, the potatoes are done. They actually cooked anywhere from around 15 minutes or more. And what I did was during the cooking process, maybe 5 minutes in, I took a little bit of pressure and pushed down on it just so you get good contact between the grill and the potatoes. That's one of the key. It kind of reminds me of when we crush grapes, stepping on the grapes. It makes good contact. And so halfway through I did put a little bit of pressure on them. And I actually took a peek at 10 minutes. And because there was a lot of potatoes I put in there, it took longer than I thought. And so, but I took a peek at 10 minutes. They were partially seared. Now it's been about 16 minutes, and I think they're ready to go. You want to take a peek at these. And so what I'm going to do is slide these off the grill. They're nice and seared. In fact, this is coming off a nice one big patty here. And I always use Teflon here so it doesn't scratch the grill. You always want to be careful because these grills are going to be nice and hot, so you don't want to touch them. So I'm going to close that. And so that's a nice big patty. I'm going to take that and just fold it in half, actually. And so it's a nice healthy meal. It's easy clean up. And so what I have here is just some flavorings that you could put on your potato patties or potatoes in general. I actually do use a sprinkling of salt on my potatoes. My wife and I like a sprinkling of salt. whenever you use salt on something, like if you're cooking chili or soups, you don't want to, you're better off not putting salt in it during the cooking process because it kind of buries the flavor. Maybe right near the end, or you know, if even just if you get your bowl of soup out and just add a little bit of salt on top, you're even better off doing that. So, because salt and sugar, that's not our enemy. That's not what makes us fat. It's not what makes us sick. It's the meats, it's the dairy, it's the oils that cause chronic diseases. And so, you know, we want you to enjoy your starches, your rice and your potatoes and beans. So add a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper if you prefer. Ultimately, it's better not to use salt, but just a little bit to enjoy your starches is not going to hurt. So I'm just going to put a little bit of pepper on ours. If you like pepper, in fact, I think Hallie and I will enjoy these for lunch. And I'm going to put a little bit of hot sauce on my half. But Hallie, I know he doesn't like hot sauce. So, but you also have organic ketchup. We get this from Trader Joe's. This happens to be Crystal hot sauce that my wife and I like this. We get it locally at a supermarket. This is not like fire hot in your mouth. It's kind of like a medium, and so heat. And we really like that. And also we like using smoked paprika. This is also good on potatoes. It adds a little smoky flavor. And so put a little bit of that on there, and then a little bit of garlic powder. Again, is also another good flavoring you can add to your potatoes. I'm just going to sprinkle that on my half. So anyhow, yeah, we love our panini grilled potato patties. They're easy to make, and I just hope you enjoy yours. If you've had any experience with these potato patties, or with your waffle maker making potatoes, it'd be nice if you shared them in the section below. So anyhow, I hope this video encourages you to make these delicious looking potato patties. So until next time, this is Plant Smart Living with Farmer Fred.